very warm welcome to this special. It was a Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant show in the third and the final ODI, the decider, with both of them leading India to a series win. Absolutely incredible performance, an all-round performance from Hardik Pandya, and then Rishabh Pant's maiden ODI 100. Wonderful to watch. But what we'll discuss today is not just the series. What is the impact this will have on the Indian team going forward? India's middle order in the ODIs has struggled in the recent times. Does this mean that there is a new template, a new way forward for India's middle order? And that there is hope that when India is stuck in a time where your top three or top four do not perform, who can then put their hand up? We've seen three players already put their hand up in this series: Suryakumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant. So this is good news, positives to have come out of this series, other than the fact that this is a huge series. Nikhil Narayan's here with me, and it is a huge series to win on English soil. We know how dominant they've been, specifically in this format. To beat them at home, incredible by Team India.
Absolutely incredible. You know how good England have been since the 2015 World Cup. They had lost only 2 series, bilateral series at home, both to Australia.
Correct.
So they had been the most dominant team at home in ODI cricket. That whole revolution which started under Ewan Morgan, which culminated in the 2019 World Cup victory at home. So England were almost unbeatable at home. For India to have beaten them 2-1, although this is not the year of the World Cup, it's next year,
correct,
but still it's a big psychological factor. England were ranked higher at the start of the series. So it's a big win for India. Only their second bilateral ODI series win, Meha, in England in 26 years. In 26 years, only their second bilateral series win in England. So it's a massive performance. And, apart from the bowling which stood out, which we'll discuss in detail later, correct, I think the performance of the lower order, the emergence of this Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, which almost reminded me of MS Dhoni, Yuvraj Singh. Yesterday when they were batting, it reminded me of how they used to chase, back in the day, in the 2000s for India. Correct. So big positive for India.
Yes, and rare series win. I think we've also got to put this in perspective, what this means. Remember, if you look at India's performance in ODIs, we go back to the 2019 World Cup, and I was revisiting that scorecard, Nikhil, of India losing in the semi-finals against New Zealand at Manchester. The date I checked, 9th of July, and why I say this was so important for this team going forward is the fact that it was Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya in that match. Both scored 30-odd runs. It was the shots that they played that they were criticized for, because India had lost their top order. They were, they'd lost the top 3 for just 5 runs. They were struggling, and in came Rishabh Pant as well as Hardik Pandya. Both of them were scoring runs, and they'd taken India to 70-odd runs, and then Rishabh Pant slog swept, and he got out, and everybody was like, why did he do that? So from that to now, it's almost like a sort of redemption for these two players.
Absolutely. First let's talk about Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, his ODI career, his T20I career, I mean, there were questions raised around Rishabh Pant, the limited overs batsman. We were raising questions in our preview shows. His numbers were absolutely abysmal, Meha. If you see Rishabh Pant's numbers before the start of this match, I mean, look at those numbers. Average of 31 in ODI cricket, just 26.13 from number 4, where he was batting in the series. So it was a very important match for Rishabh Pant. We always knew he had the talent. He has to play all formats for India, but he needed that one great knock to sort of start his transformation in limited overs cricket. And I think yesterday was that knock. I mean, if you just see the breakup of the innings, the first 70 balls he faced, he just hit 4 boundaries. 4 boundaries in 70 balls. I don't think Rishabh Pant has ever done in a test innings also. And we all know that what he's done. So, 46 runs only of the first 70 balls, rotating the strike, picking up the singles and twos. He did not want to take chances. He wanted to take the chase deep. And Hardik Pandya was playing aggressor. Hardik was playing aggressor, 71 or 55. Pant was playing second fiddle. I've never seen that. It was a mature innings. It was an easy pace track. The target was only 260. India did not need to score at 8 runs per over. And therefore, it was a very, very mature knock by Rishabh Pant, not taking risk in the first 70 balls. Then, once India had reached a position of comfort, then he showed his, his real game, destructive game, ended with that 5 fours in a row. I mean, if not for that Yorker, it would have been 6 fours in a row. So it was a very good, I think, a career-changing move in limited overs for Rishabh Pant yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, people are talking about this as an innings of maturity. Nikhil, like he rightly said, that Rishabh Pant, the way he started, and when I think when Hardik Pandya came in, he'd already scored 19 runs, and it was Hardik who reached to his 51st. And it was only after Hardik got out that we saw this the crazy Rishabh Pant that we're used to seeing, and that has been the difference. The other thing being, Nikhil, what stood out for me was this constant talk that was going on, the conversation between Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant, which Hardik Pandya spoke about in the post-match presentation as well when he won the Man of the Series award, where he said, look, I was just telling Rishabh that you just, we don't have to take any risks. This is a very easy target to chase down. Just hold on for a while before you go berserk. And it did work because we saw that from Rishabh Pant. But what stands out for me from this innings is that people are calling it an innings of maturity. Fine, right. Yes, innings of maturity, but this is the same Rishabh Pant at times who will get out to low full toss, giving a catch to mid-wicket. Right. So you will see that Rishabh Pant as well. But having said that, why this is important is that any time from here on, he's in a situation like this, he will look back at this match to fall back on, to know that, okay, in that match, that's how I played. I need to be approaching it this way. So he could have that temperament, that aggressive, impatient sort of temperament. But this will give him that thing in his head that, look, I did it then. I think
absolutely. Rishabh Pant will always be aggressive because he is a stroke maker, and he cannot be a Rahul Dravid or a Cheteshwar Pujara. If he tries to bat like that, he will get out. But there's a benchmark, as you said. Now this innings is the benchmark. India in trouble. 30 odd for 2, Virat Kohli gone 38 for 3, Surya Kumar goes 78 for 4, England's chances of winning 75-80%. But Rishabh Pant then changes his natural game. When everyone is expecting he will counter-attack, he changes his game. Hardik Pandya is reassuring him that I'll take the risk, you stay there. Again, I don't know why I'm getting reminded of MS Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh so much. That, they did this time and again for India in the 2000s, chasing, setting targets. And then look at that picture we're just seeing on that. It is reassuring him, stay there, stay there. If you stay there, we'll win. And if Hardik and Rishabh Pant bat together for 20 overs, any match, India will win 90%. And that's exactly what happened yesterday.
If you just stay there, if both these players stay on the pitch
they'll score
for 20 overs, they'll score runs. That's just how their game is. But we've talked about Rishabh Pant. What about Hardik Pandya and the importance of Hardik Pandya when he's playing like this, when he's fit and he's at his best? This is what he can do for the Indian team. That is what we've seen in the T20Is as well as in the ODIs. And it's exceptional because you then realize his importance in this side. You're talking about Yuvraj Singh. That's how important. What Yuvraj Singh did for India in the 2011 World Cup, this is what Hardik Pandya can do. And that's why one of the reasons is that BCCI is managing his workload so well. They're not there. He's rested from the West Indies ODI series. But how good was Hardik Pandya? With the ball, with the bat, to come back, he's just enjoying his cricket. He seems to be having fun in the middle. Loved the duel between him and Livingston. I mean, it was incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this new avatar of Hardik Pandya, this mature Hardik Pandya, telling players what to do, control your aggression, bowling. I mean, the way he used the short pitch delivery yesterday was absolutely incredible. The way he got Liam Livingstone out. I mean, 4 wickets, and all 4 of them of the top middle order. All of them 4 big wickets. Also, incredible economy rate, not conceding runs, not conceding boundaries. Then coming back at a very critical stage, India in trouble, having lost their top 4. That partnership 130 odd with Rishabh Pant, in which he played the aggressor, taking off the pressure of Rishabh Pant, 71 of 55. Absolutely brilliant. So Hardik Pandya not only is playing the role of the playmaker as he did for Gujarat Titans from number 4, now he's also got that hitting mojo back, which we had seen missing for Mumbai Indians in the IPL. this year and last year, not this year, played for Titans. So, Hardik Pandya is back in every way. And this, what he did with Gujarat Titans has taken him to another level. This is a new Hardik Pandya. And now the only thing which awaits is the return to Test cricket.
Yeah, but I also feel that win for Gujarat Titans as the captain, he led from the front with the bat and the ball. Just some of the things he did, promoted himself up the order, started bowling in the power plays, was very good for Gujarat Titans. I feel like he has grown as a player, as a captain, as a human being, as a leader in every which way. Because even in the post-match presentation, just the way he's been talking, even in the press conference when people asked him about his bowling, about how he approaches his game, about what the conversation was with Rishabh Pant. Even I genuinely feel we're seeing Hardik Pandya, and very soon you will see him as the captain. I mean, this is what it is, because at some point, unfortunately, Rohit Sharma, given fitness being an issue and all of that, rest, this and that,
he will,
I genuinely think that Rishabh Pant now we're seeing the future captain.
Yeah, I think it's a year and 3 months away. After the 2023 World Cup in India, I think Rohit himself will step down and I'll also maybe retire, because he is of that age and he's done everything one can as a batsman. Rohit Sharma has achieved everything. So I think Hardik Pandya, given also that the other contenders haven't done that well, Hardik Pandya, just the way he's risen in the last few months, is the next captain for India, all formats. And there are no two ways about it. It's been a sensational story. The win, some players, thrive if they're given a bit of confidence. That Gujarat Titans win has given him such confidence that he is at a different level right now.
Okay, also we'll put up the partnership between Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant. We've been talking about them, the partnership of the 133 runs and how important that was in a situation where India had all but lost all the hope of winning this ODI. Reece Topley bowling beautifully. You wonder whether India could bounce back. Now, in recent times, what we've seen, especially in ODIs, in chases, if your top order has fallen, if India's top order has fallen, Nikhil, they struggle. More often than not, they're not able to chase it down. Correct. So when you see this, and I also think that other than a couple of chances, it was very safe in the way they went about their innings. We've already talked about maturity, but it's a different thing when you're doing it out there in a pressure situation, in a decider. This is huge for both of them and for Team India.
Absolutely. Given the problems Team India is currently facing, I think it's only a short phase when India will have top order problems, because Virat Kohli is not scoring. They have to see what they have to do with Dhawan. Rohit Sharma has started this new aggressive template, but he's not scoring big runs. So after a long period of time, we are seeing India's top three not delivering, but 4, 5 and 6 now delivering also in limited overs. Remember they did this consistently in Test cricket when again Virat Kohli, Pujara were not scoring runs. Rahane wasn't scoring. It was Jadeja, it was Pant, it was Ashwin. They were scoring the runs in the lower order. But now I think with Jadeja also in the mix, and at some point Jadeja will also come into play in the future tours. So I think Jadeja, Pant, and Hardik Pandya now at numbers 4, 5 and 6, extremely important for India. And this just sort of India's batting strength now will give them the confidence that they can sort of chase down any target, set any target, because they almost have all bases covered if they can just solve that number 3 and opening problem.
There was a wonderful moment after Rishabh Pant hit the winning runs. The Steadicam guy was zooming in on both of them, both on Rishabh Pant and on Ravindra Jadeja. And I think Rishabh Pant wasn't really, I guess he just said to the camera person, maybe too much of spotlight. He wasn't really enjoying that. So he just said, "Bas karo bas." And to which Ravindra Jadeja standing next to him said, "Arey zoom karo, is pe zoom karo." It was a wonderful little moment. And why I'm saying this is that Rishabh Pant just comes across to me as a team man, number one. He's always, even behind the stumps, you'll see him constantly motivating the players. But more than that, I think he makes cricket so much more exciting.
Box office.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when he gets going, I know that there is that side where he's going to get out in a terrible way and you'd wonder, why would you do that? But then you also get to see this. Which side of Rishabh Pant? And that's what I'm saying, that a lot of people ask him to tone down. But then will we see this Rishabh Pant?
We'll see this Rishabh Pant. We've already seen Meha in Test cricket.
Yeah.
All the innings he has produced, whether it was Brisbane, whether it was Ahmedabad, there were a mix of caution and controlled aggression. There was not recklessness. So he has it. Yesterday also, initially you rebuild and then you go, helter-skelter. So Rishabh Pant has it in him to produce these sort of innings. And, across the formats he can produce this. Now the only format which he hasn't cracked yet for India, and they're desperate that he cracks it, is the T20I format. Given the World T20, I think India will take a risk with him and play him, because whether they open with him or not, but they will, because he's just too talented a batsman. You cannot include in 11.
That's absolutely. Okay, now if Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya did well, all eyes were also on Shikhar Dhawan after having taken a break. Remember, Shikhar Dhawan's only playing one format, which means that, with every series, ODI series that he plays, it's a dress rehearsal of sorts for who's going to open and whether he is in the World Cup plans for India next year. So, Shikhar Dhawan, in the matches that he played, through the series, we saw that he was out of rhythm, Nikhil. And I understand where that comes from. We've had this conversation before as well. Bilateral ODI series, the number of those being played have shrunk tremendously. You're not getting as much match time. You're not spending that much time in the middle. He struggled. And this is going to be a problem for India, because he has been in India's World Cup ODI World Cup plans.
He is, because his record with Rohit Sharma, that partnership at the top of the order, is amongst the best of all time. We were discussing it the other day. 18th century partnership, 5,000 plus runs. Those are incredible numbers, amongst the greatest of all time. But India needs informed players. Dhawan is neither scoring big runs and he's wasting deliveries. That goes against the new template set by Rohit. See, Rohit is also not scoring big, but at least Rohit is going after the bowling and getting out. Dhawan is not doing that. Dhawan, in all the three matches, he looks sluggish, out of touch, edges. That flow hasn't come. Also, I noticed this IPL, unlike the previous two seasons, he scored some 400 odd runs, but the strike rate was it was very slow, 122. So it was not Dhawan at his destructive best, which he was for Delhi Capitals mid-season, the previous two seasons. So there is a bit of an issue. India has options. India can go to, someone like an Ishan Kishan, like for like replacement. There is Ruturaj Gaikwad you can try, because there is still some time for the 2023 World Cup. So India has to see. I know Dhawan is in the plans, but India can't carry people on past reputation, because the game has changed. England is going to come all out. People will score 300, 350. We cannot afford bad starts.
Absolutely. The other thing being, I saw this, I read it somewhere, that since 2020, when Rohit Sharma scored 100 in Bengaluru against Australia, that was the last time any Indian scored 100 while chasing since then. So it's been two and a half years.
2.5 years, yeah. I mean, therefore that period,
till of course Rishabh,
and therefore which we had discussed in the other show the other day, since 2020 India's ODI numbers had gone down. They were the 7th best in terms of win-loss ratio. So India had a problem not only in their bowling but also in the batting. The top order wasn't fine. I mean, Virat Kohli doesn't have 100 since 2019 November. So there is a problem. I think one important person who's missing in India's 11 for the last few months is KL Rahul. Big player across formats. He will. I think now India might just open. He can also be an opener, although India has lately tried him in number 5 in ODI cricket. But given Dhawan's form, don't be surprised if Rahul is pushed at the top of the order with Rohit.
Absolutely. Okay. Now that was India's batting. What about India's bowling? Some positives there as well. Before the series began, we got some numbers out for you, and we talked about how Indian bowlers have struggled, especially in the first 10 overs in ODI since the 2019 World Cup, unable to take wickets in the power plays. And when you look at how they have bowled in this ODI series, that's a huge positive, a huge plus for them, because it's not just Jasprit Bumrah. Even Mohammad Siraj comes in place of Jasprit Bumrah and then gets 2 wickets in the very second over.
Absolutely.
So you are looking at Jasprit Bumrah. And how good is Jasprit Bumrah? We saw what he did in the first game. It was unfortunate that he didn't play the last game because of an injury. But I feel like if there is one thing that they need, if there's just one piece to add to this puzzle, it's a left-arm seamer. Otherwise, it's a very good attack that India has.
Absolutely, and the left-arm seamer could be Arshdeep Singh. At least, not only is he very restrictive in the death overs, but recently he's bowled well for India in the power play also. Yesterday on the broadcast, Ravi Shastri was asked, what is the one thing which has changed for India since during your coaching time? I mean, he said we always had great batsmen. Yeah. Now we have the Generation X, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, but he said one thing, quality of fast bowlers. He said since Bumrah came on the South African tour in January 2018, everyone else also raised his game to another level. Shami became Shami 2.0, Ishant Sharma, Umesh Yadav, and then suddenly this crop of fast bowlers, Prasidh Krishna, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Siraj, and there are 10 more who we saw in the IPL. So, that has completely changed. That has also changed the way opposition teams in Sena countries are making pitches for India. They are scared that India's bowling lineup, if they prepare green tops, will will wreak havoc more than their own bowlers on the Indian batsmen. So the dynamics have changed because of the quality of fast bowling, and therefore I think Jasprit Bumrah's resurgence in ODI cricket, and we call it a resurgence because his numbers had actually gone down in the power play with the new ball since 2020, and he had taken just 1 wicket in 12 matches. Prior to that, brilliant 6-wicket haul, 4 of which were in the power play at the Oval. So Bumrah taking wickets with the new ball is very important. Remember, we have Bhuvneshwar, we have Prasidh Krishna. So, India's fast bowling, I think, in Australia, on those hard and bouncy wickets, I think our bowling is going to trouble opposition batting lineups. They're in for a surprise. So beware of India's fast bowlers. Plus, we have Chahal, who has, again, I am saying he's one of the best limited over spinners currently in the world.
That's right. We saw how he polished off the tail as well as what he did at Lord's. But now it's time to, or should we discuss Virat Kohli? Okay, let's do that.
Show can't be complete.
Why this is a big deal now? Is being discussed everywhere. Virat Kohli's break. Should he have taken this break? Because now it's very clear from what my sources tell me that he asked for this break.
Okay.
So within the BCCI and the selection committee, it's very clear that it wasn't them who dropped him or rested him. Virat Kohli specifically asked for a break. And this is a 40-day break.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's a long break. Now people are divided over this. The best way to get back to form is by playing. And others think that, look, he's, this is a breaking point for him. Let him just get away from the game. Let him just, get, I don't know, just sort of...
the mixed reactions, you're right, yeah.
Rejuvenate himself.
Correct.
Just get to a place of peace and calm and rethink about how he wants to approach the game going forward. I think that's the thing. What are your thoughts on it?
See, it's a difficult one. I mean, on one hand, okay, let him have the break. But if others, like Deepak Hooda, and so many other batsmen on the India's bench strength, if they do well, what happens? Will they make place for Virat Kohli when he comes back in the Asia Cup? Because the messaging we've got from Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid is that Virat Kohli is very much a part of the World T20 plans, which means he won't play the Asia Cup. He's going to play when Australia is coming to India for the 3 T20Is in September. So then, isn't it a bit unfair on Deepak Hooda and others if they do well? And they're bound to do well. They are in the form of their lives. That is question one. Also, why can't it be a mix and match? Why does it have to be black and white? Why can't Kohli be rested or could have been rested only for the ODIs and play the T20Is, given the significance? Yeah, but you can get a 10-day rest, right? Or 15-day rest.
He's Virat Kohli. If he wants rest, he gets it. So he's asked for rest.
But this Virat Kohli is also sacked as India's captain in all 3 formats.
That's right.
So, and he may be dropped. I mean, that doesn't serve anyone's purpose, right? Yeah. So you can take rest between the England series, which got over yesterday, and the T20Is. It's 13 days, 2 weeks. You take a rest, play the T20Is only. You have to see what is important. The rest might do him well. He may change completely. There might be divine intervention in London.
No, he's already seeked divine intervention.
In London, in England. So all those things might happen.
So apparently he is meant to stay in England for his rest period as well. But again, this is also interesting. Why I'm saying this is that how does he approach his rest period? That is another thing. For a lot of people now, Kevin Peters, whoever, Michael Vaughan, I don't know, there are so many people now talking about what Virat Kohli should be doing and what, how he should be approaching this whole phase. Some say that, look, just don't look at your bat. Just do not go back to the game. Completely take a rest. Whereas Virat Kohli, the last time I think when he was rested right after the IPL, I remember there were visuals of him batting at CCI every day. So he would take Sanjay Bangar along with him. This is Virat Kohli resting. He's taken rest and he's going and batting. So again, at the end of the day, you and I can just keep talking about what Virat Kohli is likely to do, what he should do. Everybody's talking about it. But then this Virat Kohli is also not someone who will just sit idle, because in the past you've seen him go and practice during his rest period. So I don't know what.
I mean, that is an individual thing. Whatever works for him, whatever gives him peace. Maybe if he doesn't look at his bat, he cannot sleep at night. I don't know. But if the rest, and the proof of, the proof we'll get to see what happens when he plays in the Asia Cup. There's no cricket before. Obviously, he's not going to Zimbabwe. So there is no cricket before. Asia Cup is end of August. So there is a month and a week left for that. If he doesn't perform in the Asia Cup, then I'm 50-50 whether Rohit Sharma will take him to the World T20 or not. Because
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I get the feeling that they've already decided that he's not going to the World Cup, or he himself has told them. Like, there is something where it has been said or hinted by Virat Kohli that I won't be playing the World Cup. My sense is that, because the Virat Kohli that we know does not like to rest in a year that he'd be going for the World Cup. Despite the form that he's in, I agree to all of that, but that's my understanding of it. Of course, we don't know. That's my sense of it. That maybe he's himself going to say, okay, this is it from T20Is, and which I think at this point, given the kind of struggle that he's seeing himself in, maybe it's best for him to just sit out of T20Is and prolong his ODI and Test career.
Test place is not guaranteed. His numbers in Test are the worst of the three formats. I think he will get a chance in the Asia Cup, but that is it. If he does well, good for him, he will go. If he doesn't do well in the Asia Cup, I think he will resign himself from the format. I think Asia Cup he will get a chance. Whether this break works or not, that is the test.
The other thing being, and I know I'm stretching this for all of you, I don't know if you think, what do you think? Should Virat Kohli have taken this rest? Do let us know in the comment section below. The other thing is also, when you look at Virat Kohli, now we've seen this so often, the manner in which he approaches his innings, the manner in which he hits some of those shots,
right.
Beautiful cover drive, beautiful on drive. You feel like Virat Kohli, today he's going to score runs. And at the back of your mind, somewhere that fear, he's going to get out now. That is the problem there. And on top of that, the way in which he's getting out. It's almost like he's stuck in a rut. He gets out exactly in that front foot movement.
Yeah, although in the last match, he did try. He was trying to play a few of the shots on the back foot. Sanjay Manjrekar in the commentary box was going, he was really excited. But those habits, Meha, cannot be changed overnight. It will take, a week, 10 days, 15 days. He'll fail again. I don't know. As long as there is improvement, he needs that one innings. I don't know. He needs that 3-digit score. A 70-80 also would not do. He got a 70 recently, and all of us were writing fancy pieces that Virat Kohli is back. It did not happen. That 3-figure mark at that level it's mental now. It will completely change him. But he needs that 3-figure score in any of the three formats. If that doesn't come, it's unfortunate, but we might see this might be the end of Virat Kohli.
Do you think we've seen the best of Virat Kohli?
I think we've seen the best of Virat Kohli. 2017, 2019. That cannot be, replaced.
Okay, News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to. We'll get you the latest from the world of sports. World Athletics Championship is on. We'll get you the latest from that as well. In fact, today we'll have a show on that. So press the bell notification button and when we go live on our channel. That's it from Nikhil and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.